Young Justice issue 18, Brian Michael Bendis writing with Scott Godlewski and Michael Avon Oming for the art. So that's I was interested to get into this one because I've been kind of a weird place with Young Justice where I actually quite liked the last issue, even though it came at a weird time. Like it should have been like an issue or two earlier. This issue I like probably more than I have in a while because it was really focused. I actually feel like it did something for the characters that it was focusing on, which was Steph mainly, but also Tim, who at the end of the issue has given up the costume and the Drake outfit.
That's my biggest thing is, Bendis, what was your point?
Wait, Drake's gone already?
No, there wasn't a point. This was him quickly getting rid of it because he knew everyone hated it. I'm pretty sure that's what this is.
But that's what I mean. But in the logic of it is, okay, I get that you wanted him to be his own, which, again, that's a Dick Grayson thing. Like, Tim enjoys being Robin. Like, and I get it. You can't have. I'm not going to go there.
Well,
I've done this argument so many times.
Just a question. Do you think this is Bendis going, people didn't like this, or editorial going, change it back now?
No.
But how do you know it's like even the opposite? How do you know that it wasn't editorial that said, give him a different name and an outfit? Well, this is what he came up with.
Possible. Right, and that's my point. Was he like low key being like, I'm going to make it so terrible that they're gonna beg him to go back to Robin?
Even if he didn't have some sort of master plan like that, though, was he the whole time, ever since they introduced it, going, "Oh God, I hate this so much. I hope I can change it. I hope I can change it."
I don't know, but let's just take it for what it is. And it was just like it only impacted Young Justice because they've only ever. But like Drake was still such just a low key terrible name, and the costume was very uninspired. It was just like kind of been a slow point for me. Here, let's just take it for what it is. And then for him to go on the last page of this going, oh yeah, he's back to Robin now.
So he's just Robin, not Red Robin. Yeah. He's just the Robin again. Because obviously, right. as we were informed last week, Damian is no longer Robin.
Technically, yes, right. That's true. I like this issue though. I like the art as well. I thought it felt like it played to kind of Steph's classic art style a lot.
Yeah,
I thought.
Well, I like too that it balanced the Oming versus the Godlewski with what they were doing. You know, it was Steph taking on Clue Master, henchmen and whatnot with Oming.
Well, more specifically, it was assassins who had been hired by her father to take Steph out. Right. So she calls Tim in. Tim's like, we should call in the team, and she's like, that's not my team. But he calls them anyway later on, so we get kind of like a roll call kind of thing eventually. But they get after her father, and you know, I think it's the Omen art that I really like in this.
It's definitely more cartoony, but it fits because of the subject matter. They are taking out assassins.
It fits Steph. It fits Steph's outfit. It kind of feels not exactly, but it feels in line with like a 2000s comic, and sort of thing I imagine. You know, a lot of
Bendis and Oming doing 2000s comics. Who would have thought?
Yeah, but it matches a lot of what I think of a lot of the back character books from that time period. So, and even to the point where there's a great thing at the bottom of one of the pages where she's running along a rooftop, and some of the narration's in the rooftop itself, just it's all black, and she's like a silhouette, like jumping along the top. It feels almost like Sly Cooper-esque. For anyone who's played those games and knows what sort of like tone I'm talking about, that's what it kind of feels like with Spoiler jumping across the rooftops. Really fun stuff. So it's all about them getting up to the penthouse where where the Clue Master is and getting to him. Worth mentioning that Naomi is called as member of the Young Justice in this. She's not like a secondary member. She is one of the main team now, which is really cool. So we get a whole thing where they use a grapple on the motorbike to go up the side of the building. They get up to the top. There's a lot of fighting. Again, her kicking him square in the face and seeing like all the cheeks kind of scrunch up. Really fun art. Again, fun and cartoony. The team show up. Are like, but you had this handled. This feels like it was a waste of our time. I got a mild kick out of Jenny getting annoyed because like, you're interrupting my podcast. It was her line. And I think it was funny because I was imagining it in her accent.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the cliffhanger at the end, as they're all sitting having lunch, Robin just happens to be back in it. Now, to be fair, it is sort of teased throughout the issue that Steph hates that costume in the name as well. And when the question at the end, like why why his costume's changed and he's got a different name, one of them mentions that it was Batman and Steph that made him change it. So it feels a bit rushed.
Such a waste. Yeah.
Well, it's not so much that it's a waste. It's that we should never have done it in the first place.
Yeah. Still, I wish if I had one question for Bendis, it wouldn't be about Daredevil or X-Men or Avengers. It would be like, yo, what happened with Drake, and why? You can tell me. I won't tell anybody.
Yeah. This has been one of the better issues because it was so focused. I mean, it helps that it was focused on a character that I really like, because I had very little page time in the last decade. But it was fun. It was pulpy. They did all these things. It didn't feel overburdened with dialogue like some of these issues. And I think part of it was that there was only two characters talking to each other for most of it, which helped, I think, a lot with that. There's a cliffhanger at the end where Cassie, who was notably absent before, kind of crash lands in front of them and says, Zeus has gone mad. So we're getting a Zeus story next issue with Cassie, which is cool. Obviously we know the series is coming to an end, and I'm not that sad about it ending, really.
No, because now these are starting to feel like one-shots that are character specific, and
but the one-shots,
okay.
No, but they're better than what it was before. The arcs weren't that good.
That's what I mean. That said, the part of me that loves the grand scheme of things when it comes to Bendis, the whole idea of Gemworld introducing this crisis that was affecting them, and it just feels like it got away from that. Like we never, they defeated the Gemworld stuff, and then it's never been brought up again. So either he's laying out Easter eggs for people to find later to play with, or I don't know. It just felt a little bit bigger than what it ended up being.
I'll be honest, I'm kind of happy it didn't go back to it. I've kind of liked that Gemworld stuff a bit less and less the further we've gotten away from it.
I don't mind it.
I don't know. I mean, this issue is kind of the closest to what I wanted a Young Justice book to be. Obviously, you'd have more characters normally, but yeah. So it's a shame that maybe he's finally starting to stumble into what I want from a Young Justice book just as it's about to end. But sadly, it's going to be a run where it's going to be like, well, I mean, it sounded like a great idea on paper having Bendis doing Young Justice, but ultimately, it didn't last that long. The arcs weren't that great. It was just kind of okay for a lot of it, which is a shame. But yeah, this issue is solid though. If you have been reading it, I think this issue is one that works quite well. So, what are you giving it, Matt?
I mean, it was 7. It's good, but again, I'm just like, okay. It was a fun book.
Yeah, do you know what's so weird is I like this issue a fair bit more than I have a lot of the issues, but I'm still not tempted to actually rate it like super high. Like there's something kind of weird about it. It's almost as if because of what it's a part of now that it can't kind of outlive its shadow of just kind of the weight of what the series has been up until this point. So I'm also just going to give it like probably a 7.5.
And that checks out because you did like it more than I did. So
yeah. But it's still not like must-read material. That's kind of the sad part of it, which is kind of what you were hoping for when Bendis was taking on this book. But hey, I still read this issue in like the last Legion of Superheroes though.
Yeah, that's good.
So that counts for something.
To be fair, you've only got like 3 more left to get through.
True, but I wasn't really thinking. I'll be honest though, I'd forgotten about that. I only remembered this was cancelled as I was talking about it here.
Oh, fair enough.